Hello, hello. Hi, welcome to Watcher DM. I am Gabriel. And I'm just gonna check real quick, see if the live stream, as the kids call it these days. Just to make sure. Looks like it's all working. So I'm gonna get my chat up here in case what up? Okay, cool. Chat up here in case anybody wants to come hang out and yak at me. I will do my best to yak back. Get this connected here. Cool. Pop this up here, and we are good to go. So, what is this? This is a stream I have been doing every day for the last week, I think. Or yeah, come on, I think this is a week. And what it is I spend an hour preparing. In fact, I need to close this. That's the thing. Okay. I spend an hour preparing the A2 Secret of the Slavers Stockade for me to run this coming Monday. So this coming Monday, I need to run the first session of Secret of the Slavers Stockade. Now, I've done more than enough prep for the first few sessions, or the first couple of sessions at least. But I would like to get this done because I also need to prep A4 for the next. So after I finish running A2, Austin Holm is going to run A3, and then I'm on the hook for running A4. So assuming the party survives and everything goes fine, I will also need to do this for A4. Also, I think this is kind of like, I don't know, I feel like as a... Okay, I'm going to level with you guys. I've been DMing for 30 years, okay? And I have always found the published modules and published books for D&D to be... They talk a lot, but say very little. What I mean by that is they do not use words efficiently to deliver information. That is not necessarily a complaint. I know lots of people read for entertainment, and I think that's super cool. But for me, I don't think adventure content is entertaining because of how it's written in general. I'm more interested in how it's going to be applied to the table and how my players are going to kind of interact with it. So for me, I really love it when an adventure is just this is what's in here. Give me the juicy stuff. Give me the evocative stuff. Leave the opinions about strategy and other stuff on the floor. If I can't glean that from the stat block, then maybe the stat block isn't really well written. Not super important. The important thing here is I don't want to run this from this book, from this printed little thing here, right? Because I will have to go digging through these paragraphs as I'm running to make sure that I don't miss anything. And that's not how I want to be spending my table time. I want to be able to just look here and go, yeah, the door is locked. You listen? Okay. Yeah, I think maybe you hear some breathing, right? And how did I get that? Well, it's a locked door here. I can see that Carl Starr is on the bed, right? So he's lying on the bed. So maybe they can hear breathing if they succeed on their breathing check. Right? And then they open it. It's oh, a bell goes off. It's from this information here, I can run the thing and get what I want. Not the actual original. Let me go pull it. I think we're at 25 anyway, so we need to get there. This is 25 specialist's quarters. So this is the engineer's quarters. He's the sapper. Okay. And so okay, yeah. So the door to this room is locked and no sound is heard from beyond. Well, okay, but what if they rolled really good on their hearing? There is somebody in there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Small bell. Okay. Single human in padded armor lying on the bed. Fine. But this stuff, that's a lot. Like, I don't need all that. I want it to be structured in a way that allows me to easily quickly reference it. So that's what we're doing. That's the execution plan for today. And we are diving right in to 25B. Now, 25B, for those who have been watching the series, is actually 2 rooms in here, which is weird. And I'm wondering if maybe this is like a typo on the map. So we'll find out. But this is 25B, as far as I can tell. Maybe this is 26B. That's probably what this is, 26B. Is there a 26B? I'm going to look. We're going to find out. 26A. Yep, 26A, 26B. So this is... Oh, no. What? What is going on here? How? Man. What a bad job they did. What a bad job they did laying this out. Oh, no, because that's 26B. That's 26B. So what the fuck is... All right. Well, there's 2 Bs, apparently. Fine. We'll deal with that later. Alchemist's Quarters. We'll start by reading the read-aloud text and the entire description as laid out in the adventure. When the party enters this room, they see a human seated on a wooden stool bending over a large wooden table. The stranger appears to be pouring fluid from one flask into another. As the players enter, the stranger turns around to look at them. The human is the alchemist Findex. He has been hired to assist Marquesa. He is armed with a dagger, but he will not fight unless there is no other choice. Along the north... Along the north wall is a bed, draped with a satin comforter and ornamented with silk cushions. Along the east wall are several bookshelves, virtually obscuring the wall. Some of these volumes are well worn, while others have a layer of dust and a few cobwebs covering them. On the south wall are shelves containing a wide and varied assortment of flasks, tubes, decanters, jars, cans, small boxes. While some of these containers are empty, others are filled with strange herbs or fine powders. If the party enters through the secret door here, the first thing they will notice is a small but exquisite coffer that appears to be covered entirely with emeralds. This coffer rests on the floor about 2 feet from the secret door. The coffer is worthless but has been trapped. Anyone who touches it will become stuck to it and will be unable to free himself or herself from it, or unable to move the coffer elsewhere. If a dispel magic spell is cast on the party member stuck to the coffer, or if the member is wearing a ring of free action, can he or she become freed? Okay. That's a really weird way of writing that, but whatever. Okay. So I think we've confirmed that it is a single room. We know that there is a table. Wooden stool. So I like to start with the furniture, because oftentimes the things in the room are going to be kind of like they're anchored to where the furniture is in the room. So stranger appears to be pouring. Okay, so and here we're just going to say, okay, I do not have a Findex stat block yet, so I'll need to change that. What's Barky? Why noise? We good, dog? Okay, I think we're good. Findex is pouring 1 flask into another on table, or at table, I guess. Then we see that there is, also a north wall. So you'll notice that furniture goes in, but like also if I know which wall furniture is in, or specifically specified, I will put the direction of the furniture like first, like where it is. So north wall, bed. And I think I'll just put satin and silk. This has got some nice swag. And then we go east wall, bookshelves. And then we say south wall, shelves. Okay, cool. So we've got kind of the structure of the room, right? We know that there's a table in the middle somewhere with a wooden stool. We know that the north, east, and south walls all have some stuff on them. Now, the bed, nothing interesting. The books, we've got some recently used, some cobwebbed and dusty. And this is one of those cases where I've got like a couple of lists of things that I'll usually snap in that I'm like, oh yeah, this is a list of books that might be in an alchemist's thing, right? No, don't do that. The dog goes up there. Okay. The table. All right, now the south wall shelves I think are the most interesting. And this is another thing I will do almost every time. Is if they have like a list of things like flasks, tubes, decanters, jars, cans, small boxes, like I'll go ahead and enumerate those. And the reason I will is not because I care. I'm not going to say like, oh, these are all the things that are here. Instead, it's like I now have a list of adjectives that I can, or like, you know, objects that I can just be like, oh yeah, you see a couple of tubes and a decanter, and yeah, there's kind of a flask behind. Like, it allows me to paint a picture with objects, so I don't have to like come up with, oh, there's crates. You know, it's like, yeah, sure, most of the places are going to be crates and barrels and crap, right? That's just how the world is in D&D, I guess. It also says here, though, that while some of these containers are empty, others are filled with strange herbs or fine powders. So we're going to say strange herbs and fine powders in some. And then this doesn't have it here, but I feel like putting a little gold piece value on this is maybe something I would probably do. Just say like, oh yeah, you collect up the herbs and stuff? Sure, 20 gold pieces worth of herbs and crap. Fine. Okay. Interesting. By secret. So the secret door is in the southwest corner. All right, southeast corner. Southeast corner by secret door. Emerald studded coffer. Coffer rests on the floor about 2 feet from the secret door. Coffer is worthless. How can it be worthless? It appears to be covered entirely with emeralds. So it must be fake emerald studded coffer. Now it says it's trapped. Anyone who touches it will become stuck to it and will be unable to free himself or herself from it, or unable to move the coffer elsewhere. Touchers become stuck to it. It cannot be moved. Dispel magic or ring of free action. That seems fine. Cool. And then we do have a little bit of news about Findax. Won't fight unless forced. Cool. All right. We're done with the Alchemist's Quarter. One room down. Let's go to the bugbear quarters. 25C. Let's take a look. So 25. Okay, so this is a typo on the map, I think. That tracks. A, B, C, D, E, F. Yeah. They typoed the map. No big deal. Okay. That'd be hella funny if we just had like 2 Findaxes in 2 different rooms and parties like, what the hell? Why same room? Just be like, yeah, it's a typo in the dungeon, and I decided to make it Findax. It reminds me of in The Divisible Man, we have these 2 rooms where like there's these 2 artists who are the same guy, because The Divisible Man is kind of about a multiverse situation. And so like they're kind of pompous, self-important artists, and if they are within visibility of each other, they'll kind of freak out and attack each other. Anyway, it's a really fun bit. Bugbear's quarters. Let's read this. This room contains 4 beds plus a table and several stools. There are 2 bugbears in this room. One is lounging on his bed, while the other is sitting on the foot of the bed, sharpening a bastard sword. The bugbears look up as the door opens. These 2 bugbears are squad leaders for 2 squads of goblin guards. The bugbears will attack intruders on sight while yelling to raise the alarm. Both have bastard swords, and the 2 are carrying a total of 32 gold pieces, 19 silver pieces, and 71 copper pieces. This room is also the quarters of the bugbears in the torture room. 12. Okay, cool. Good to know. So, got some extra information from that, right? Bugbear quarters. Yeah, so it's 4 beds, table. And this is another thing about these. They always say like, oh, several. Well, several is not a useful number, right? So I think I'm going to say there's 3 stools here. And if ever these 4 are all in the room at the same time, they got to pick who's standing. Or like sit on the bed, dude. Like, in fact, maybe the guy who's sitting on the bed is the guy who always sits on the bed. He doesn't get a stool. 2 bugbears. 1 laying on bed 1. I guess usually what I'll do is if I'm going into deeper detail about things, second sitting on bed 2. Fine. The 2 bugbears also have a total of 32 gold pieces, 19 silver pieces, and 71 copper pieces total. And then these bugbears, I guess, bastard swords. I usually don't put the weapons that they have here and instead try to put that on the stat block if possible, but like, we'll see. So I'm going to have to redo these stat blocks anyway. Right now, these are just pointing to the Mike Shea, like, Notion document that is sadly discontinued. That doesn't exist anymore, I don't think. It's now just like a database HTML page, which is super cool. And thanks, Mike, for making that. I think it's amazing. But I really liked having it in Notion. Like, being able to add stuff and just put it in my notes was super dope. All right. Scribe's Quarters, 25D. Let's go. We're on room 3. It's our 3rd room. This bedroom houses 1 human seated at a small table and writing on a piece of parchment. This is Kivin Trist, a lawful evil scribe, hired to keep the accounts of the Slavers' operation. Really interesting. When the party enters, he will tell them that if they've come to pick up their bonuses, they must go across the hall to 25C, hoping that they will be cut to bits by the bugbears. He will then give the party members receipts for their bonuses. If deception doesn't work, he will topple the table at the party, stunning those in front of it for 1 round, cry out for help, and fight using a short sword. Okay. This room has only a simple bed and scroll rack. Papers and inks are on top of the table. These scrolls list the financial records of this operation, giving names of sources of slaves, Showing how widespread the slave ring is, there is also a detailing by name of the various posts on the slave route to the slave lords, but there is no map. Stuffed in one of the scrolls in the rack is a keychain with a silver pipe whistle worth 100 gold pieces. Interesting. Okay, so small table, bed. Simple bed, scroll rack. Seated at a small table. So he's got to have a chair. So we'll give him a chair. Despite them not saying it. And then, yeah, we'll give him Kivin Trist. Scribe. Writing account records, I guess. Whatever that means. We'll try to deceive party about bonuses. Sending them to 25C to get bugbeared. Getting bugbeared. All right, cool. Kivin Trist. We got all that. That's from Sims da. These scrolls. Okay, papers and ink are on top of the table. I think in the scroll racks. Scrolls in scroll rack. Detail financials of slave ring. Name names. Sources of slaves. And names of various posts along slave route. Stuffed in one of the scrolls on the rack. One scroll contains a keychain with a silver pipe whistle. 100 gold pieces. Yeah. That's it. Party about bonuses to get them to fine. Okay, cool. 25D is done. 25E, werewolf quarters. This room just appears to be quarters for 3. There are beds, stools, and a short table. The room does not appear to be well kept, and there are rolls of dust and hair on the floor. Ew. This room is the quarters of 3 werewolves when in human form. The werewolves use the fort as their base, from which they can terrorize the countryside. They have been hired to train the wargs to guard the dungeon. The werewolves have an agreement with Marquesa to leave the humanoids alone. A close examination of the floor will reveal that the hair is wolf hair. The werewolves have been encountered in the corridors and killed. The room will remain empty. If they have not been encountered, they will enter the room through the secret door in the northern wall 2 rounds after the party enters. So I see. So this here, we are on E, so it's on this side here. Okay. I see. That's like G. Okay, so there's like a secret treasure room. Why are they cutting around in the treasure room? These werewolves up to, man? Crazy. Crazy werewolf. All right. Where was I? They have not been encountered. They will come through the secret door in the northern wall 2 rounds after the party enters the room. The secret door opens by pushing on one side. They will be in human form and, being surprised, will swiftly surrender and offer any information they can invent on the spot. Will attempt to lead the party down the secret passage to Blackthorn's room. Oh, interesting. Huh. Saying that this is the treasure room. At the first opportunity, they will shift form to wolves and attack the party with surprise if they can. They have no weapons or armor, and they entrust their treasure to Blackthorn in 25F. The werewolves are in cahoots with Blackthorn and act as his agents to weed out troublemakers in the fort. When Blackthorn makes his move against Marquesa, they will strike to eliminate Icar. Oh. Weird. So there's like a little political intrigue, a little coup going on. Cooey. Okay. 3 beds, stools, and a short table. Dust and wads of wolf hair on the floor. Most of this stuff here doesn't really seem to have anything to do with these guys or this room specifically. So we're just going to say 3 werewolves live here, hired by Marquesa to train the wargs. If they haven't been encountered, they arrive through secret door in 2 rounds. Surrender, then turn on the party and go wolf form. Let me just see here if this makes any sense. Okay. Maybe not. One square hole. Oh man. Okay, so I think 25G is going to be the big juice here. They have no weapons and armor, and they entrust their treasure to Blackthorn. So let's just look at this again real quick. So F is here. He's here. So there must be... I see. This is like a thin, like, tube way to get to G. It must be, right? That's got to be to G. Okay. That tracks. Lead the party to 25F. Fine. Cool. And I think that's it. Like, I'm not gonna deal with like the through the secret door. I'm not gonna deal with the coup here in the room description, because I think the coup would have more to do with like I'll have to read more. I'll have to see if there's a good place to insert that information. All right, 25F. So let's see. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4. We are in room 5. And we're about 30 minutes in, I think. Yeah, 30 minutes. Cool. So we're clipping along pretty okay. Still got about 30 minutes left to go, and I still got about 5 rooms left to do. So hopefully these can get knocked out pretty good. Blackthorn's quarters. This room appears to be both an office and the quarters of an officer. Seated at a desk in the southeast corner of the room is a very tall, gaunt skeleton of a man with ashen skin, sunken eyes, and a balding head. He is rubbing his long, bony hands together nervously and counting stacks of coin on his desk. He looks up, surprised. This is Blackthorn, Marquessa's captain of the guard and treasurer. He is 7 feet tall and has hunched shoulders. He barely seems to fit into his wrinkled clothes and armor. Upon sighting the party, he will invite them in a hollow voice and ask them their business. This rather cordial, ghastly-looking man is actually an ogre mage. Oh, nice. Polymorphed into a human form. Blackthorn is lawful evil and was sent by the slave lords to keep an eye on Marquessa and this operation. Personally, he is appalled by her experiments and doubts her ability to run such a large operation, but the business has remained profitable, and Blackthorn cannot see any excuse for removing Marquessa. However, he does not like her and plots to eliminate her when the slightest provocation presents itself. Only Marquessa knows that Blackthorn is an ogre mage and agrees that it is best this remain a secret to preserve her authority. The werewolves in room 25E have joined forces with Blackthorn, and they have made anyone who contests his decisions quietly disappear. Okay, so Blackthorn's got some enforcer werewolves. That's cool. Blackthorn has the following abilities that he can use at will. Ogre mage bullshit. Fly at 15 feet for up to 12 turns. Turn it invisible. Sorry, 15 inches. That's so weird the way that they do the movement in this game. 15 inches. That's going to be like... It's a square an inch, right? That's ridiculous. That's so much. That's ridiculous. I have no idea. I'm probably wrong. So you can fly ridiculously up to 12 turns, turn invisible, cause darkness, some radius, polymorph self to humanoid forms, and regenerate 1 hit point per round. Once per day, he can also charm person, assume gaseous form, and cast a cone of cold, 6 feet long and 2 feet wide at the end, for 8d8 points of damage. Now, I have a question here. Did I? Okay, it looks like I did. So I've got Blackthorn here, which is great. That's stoked. I already put a stat block in. It's probably not complete, but that's where I can put all this information about what he can do. If Blackthorn thinks he can persuade the party to do his dirty work and eliminate Marquessa, he will tell the party that he is unhappy with her leadership and will be willing to change sides if the price were right. That's pretty sick. If they agree, he will lead them to her quarters and disappear once they confront Marquessa, leaving them to kill her while he collects help to capture the party once they have done the deed, of course. If the party becomes threatening, he will laugh at them, turn invisible, and attack the next round. If the werewolves brought the party to this room, they will then change form and attack also. Okay. This room has a desk and chair, a wardrobe, 2 stools, a bed, a bookshelf, and a sandbox with hot coals in it. Interesting. In the northwestern corner of the room is a potted plant hanging from a chain. Raising the potted plant will open the secret door in the north wall. Plant is yellow and green and has flowers that look like tufts of different color hair. Weird. This plant is a present from Marquessa, a result of another experiment. If the broad leaves are raised, 3 ears and a mouth will be discovered on its stalk. Ugh. Marquessa does not trust Blackthorn's motives and sent him this plant to listen into his conversations. At a command word from her, it will relate to her anything of interest it might have overheard. Marquessa checks once a day. So she knows. She knows he's... Oh, man. What a wicked web we weave. Crazy. There are 300 gold pieces on the desk, along with various ledgers recording the number of coins in the treasury. There's also a giant glaive belonging to Blackthorn. Okay. Let's put this in. So, let's start as we do with desk, chair, wardrobe, 2 stools, bed, bookshelf, sandbox with hot coals. That's pretty interesting stuff right there. I like the sandbox with hot coals. I can see my players being like, "Yeah, I'll flick hot coals at him." That's great. Both an office and the quarters of an officer seated at a desk. So Blackthorn sits at desk. Counting stacks of coins. Now I think down here, this will just say 300 gold pieces worth of coins. That seems right. Alrighty, so we have all that stuff. I don't think, besides the glaive, various ledgers. Yeah, so I guess counting stacks of coins, various ledgers, recording. Yeah, it's fine. I'm just gonna say ledgers. Figure that out on my own. There's also a giant glaive belonging to Blackthorn. So giant glaive belonging to Blackthorn. I think, is there any question about what in this room belongs to who? I don't think so. Yeah, man, I don't think there's a lot to write here, right? Like his I'm gonna have a description for Blackthorn. That's no problem. Giant glaive, we've got some furniture. We've got Blackthorn is sitting here. I think willing to change sides for the right price, but inevitable betrayal? Question mark. Inevitable. Exit. Thank you. Now I'm actually going to disable my Grammarly here. This thing just kind of gets in the way more than anything at this point. Can I? All right, I think that's 25F. Honestly, I don't think there's much else to write here. Oh no, I almost missed it. Right, the big deal is actually yellow and green potted plant in, and actually this will be northwest corner. Yellow and green potted plant. With hair colored flowers. Hidden under leaves are mouths and ears. Marquesa checks herd, checks plant once per day for intel. It's fine. That should be fine. Okay, so that's 25F. Now we get to 25G. This is the big money chamber. The corridor ends in a blank wall. In the center of the wall is a 1 foot by 1 foot square hole. This shaft runs back into the wall and seems to end in a chamber. On the bottom of this shaft are 2 metal bars running parallel to each other, 6 inches apart, back into the shaft. A thin braided rope of metal dangles from its mouth and runs back into the shaft. The chamber at the end of the shaft is a treasury room for the goblin army. The shaft is too small for any humanoid creature, including a halfling, to crawl through. In the treasure room is a 5-foot-long table set next to the shaft opening, and the metal tracks continue out of the shaft and onto the table. Sitting on the table are 3 metal boxes, 1 foot long, 1 foot wide, and 6 inches tall. The boxes are connected together by metal rope, and each rests on a set of metal wheels fitted onto the track. The metal rope is attached to the front of the first box. A second coil is attached to the back of the last box and lies on the floor. 6 large chests, 2 metal coffers, and a small locked mahogany box are stacked in the room. A small cot lies folded in one corner, and near the cot is a barrel of iron rations and a skin of wine. To deposit or withdraw treasure, Blackthorn assumes gaseous form, passes down the shaft. Once inside the room, he changes back to normal form and loads the treasure needed onto the metal cart. Marquesa can then pull the carts out by pulling on the rope, or Blackthorn could pull the carts with treasure being deposited back in using the other rope. Blackthorn will then wait a day and assume gaseous form again and exit through the shaft. This is rude. This is so rude. I'm super interested to see how my players actually deal with this, though, because I don't think anybody's getting this treasure. And there's a lot here. The treasure in this room consists of the following. Chest 1, 6,000 copper pieces, unlocked, no trap. Chest 2, 8,000 gold pieces, locked. If the latch is held closed until the lid is raised... if the latch is not held closed until the lid is raised, 3 darts will fire from the front of the chest, causing 1d3 points of damage each, and save versus poison or die. Just die. Chest number 3, 700 electrum pieces, locked, no trap. Chest number 4, 9,000 silver pieces, unlocked, no trap. Chest number 5, 3,000 silver pieces, unlocked. If the weight is taken off the bottom of the box without setting a safety catch in front, poison gas will fill the alcove and remain for 12 turns. Doesn't say what the poison gas does, just that there's poison gas. That's cool. Chest number 6, locked. A potion of oil of etherealness, a clerical scroll of atonement, 5,000 gold pieces, 8 sapphires worth 250 gold pieces each, and 1 ruby worth 500 gold pieces. The stones are uncut, and their value can be quadrupled by a skilled jeweler. The wealth in this chest belongs to Icar, the fort commander. The lock is trapped and with a poisoned needle. Save versus poison at -3 or die. Jesus. The lock itself is complex, reducing a thief's chance to open it by 15%. Woof. Coffer number 1, 1 ruby worth 2,000 gold pieces, 10 tourmalines worth 100 gold pieces each, 6 aquamarines worth 400 gold pieces each, an illusionist scroll, continual darkness, paralyzation, shadow door, and veil. Locked. There are 3 locks which must be opened in the proper sequence or the coffer will not open. Doesn't say what the proper sequence is. Love that. I love that for us. Coffer number 2, a potion of longevity, a potion of white dragon control, a filter of love, a ring of water walking, locked, wizard locked by Marquesa, and only she, magical means, or a 9th level or higher magic user can open it. Wooden case. This mahogany wooden case is locked. Inside is a crystal display jar. The jar is sealed with a pewter stand, or sealed to a pewter stand, and inside it floats a coin-like amulet suspended in an amber fluid. Great. The amber fluid is a small ochre jelly, which has been altered. It cannot live long in open air and will die in 6 rounds unless it comes in contact with a living being. Then it will cling to the flesh, doing 1d4 points of damage per round until it is destroyed by fire. The victim will take full damage from any fire used as well. The amulet has a power word pain on it. Okay. Does that mean like wearing it causes you pain? All creatures within 20 feet of the user must... Oh, okay, I see. This is the power word pain, maybe? I see, yeah. All creatures within 20 feet of the user must save versus rod when the word is intoned, or else suffer racking pain for 2 to 8 rounds, causing them to fight at -4 to hit and making their AC worse by 1 type. Which doesn't mean anything, I think. The power word can only be used once per day, and the amulet must be held in the hand for the power word to work. Okay. Wow. That's a lot. 1 foot by 1 foot entry shaft with track and metal ropes for transferring treasure in and out. I'm super interested to see if my party can figure out a way into this. Yeah. I have no idea if anybody's gonna be able to like look into this. But I don't think it's that complicated to talk about. The complicated part now is there's a 5-foot long table next to shaft. With tracks continuing on it. Fine. Sitting on the table. Okay. So 3 metal boxes, 1 foot by 1 foot by 6 inch. Connected together with metal rope. Each has metal wheels. Okay. Second coil is attached to the back. I see. I see. That tracks. That's super fine. Okay. 6 large chests, 2 metal coffers, small mahogany box. There's also a cot. Barrel of iron rations. Let's see here. Skin of wine. I don't think it matters too much how Blackthorn gets in here, unless he needs to come in here on his own, but I think I can remember that. Just let that be. So, chest 1. And we'll just say 6,000 copper pieces. I think unlocked and no trap is default state, so I'm just going to assume that if it doesn't say it, it's not trapped. Chest 2 is 8,000. You know, I don't need commas for this. 8,000 GP. Locked. 3 darts. Fire. If latch is not held closed while opening. 1d3 damage. Save versus poison or die. 3. This one's probably going to take a little bit longer. 7,000 electrum pieces is unlocked, but if contents removed, so setting safety latch, poison gas fills room for 12 turns. It's like 2 hours. Oh my god. Oh man, my shoulders are starting to tense up. It's one of those things about streaming that I just haven't gotten used to yet. I do sit on my ass a lot for my day job, but streaming is slightly different. 9,000 silver pieces, no locks, no traps. Chest 5 is 3,000 platinum pieces. Oh, wait a minute. Am I high? This. No lock. Okay, so this one's locked. God damn it. So this one's locked but not trapped. This one has the poison trap in it. Unlocked, no trap. Okay, cool. 12 turns, great. And then chest 6. I remember reading the part of Icar's room where it talks about the info about this treasure being in his room, and it like lists the treasure again. It's pretty funny. I guess it makes sense. Let's see. So this one just says locked, but I feel like all the other ones list the contents first. So I think we're going to start with the 5,000 gold pieces. Actually, maybe what we'll do is we'll go locked for this one. And then I'll do this. And this will say like locked minus 15%, right? Because it's harder to open. The lock is trapped with a poison needle, so poison needle trap, save versus poison -3 or die. Terrible, but it's what we're doing. And then yeah, we start listing out the things here. So this will be potion. I think I don't actually say potion of oil of etherealness. I just say oil of etherealness. Scroll of atonement. 5,000 gold pieces. 8 sapphires. 250 GP each. 1 ruby worth 500 GP. Now it says here the stones are uncut. Okay, so 8 uncut sapphires, uncut rubies. And then here we'll just say ×4 if cut, ×4 if cut. All right, the wealth in this chest belongs to Icar, the fort commander, and yeah, so we'll just put here chest 6 at Icar, so we know whose it is. Easy. Better than the last one. All right, so that's the chests. Let's do coffer 1. And you know what? I'm going to do... Okay, so this one is also locked. 3 locks. Opened in order, and we'll go 3, 1, 2. Because I don't have a better idea. Inside of this coffer is 1 ruby, 2,000 gold pieces, 10 tourmalines, 100 gold pieces each, 6 aquamarines, 400 gold pieces each, scroll of continual darkness. Now, an illusionist's scroll. So I think we'll just say here this is an illusionist's scroll, and it contains continual darkness, paralyzation, shadow door. Is that not how you spell paralyzation? It's not. And veil. Okay, cool. That's all good. Go to coffer 2. This one is wizard. I guess we'll say locked wizard. Not going to worry about the rest of that. And here we get a potion of longevity. Potion of white dragon control. Filter of love. Ring of water walking. Good. And then the wooden case. Locked. And I don't think it says anything. Okay, so there's nothing else there. Crystal display jar. Sealed to pewter. Oops. Pewter stand. With coin-like amulet floating in amber. Amber quotes. Ochre jelly. Ochre jelly is modified. Will die in open air in 6 rounds. Clings to living beings and burns for 1d4 damage per round until destroyed by fire. Pretty cool, bruh. Amulet has power word pain on it. If read while held, all within 20 feet, save the rod or racked with pain for 2d4 rounds. That means -4 to hit. I don't know, -2 AC. Seems fine. It's fine. If read once per day while held. Cool. All right. I think that says everything there. And I think, holy crap, we made it. We got all the way through 25G, the treasure room. Definitely the longest room in the dungeon so far. Where does that put us? So we were at Alchemist Quarters first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Man, that took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. We only made it to 6 rooms, and the hour is gone. But I'm getting to 10 rooms, so strap in. We're gonna go a little bit longer. This is gonna be a longer stream than normal. Let's do this. Goblin Barracks. This section is all goblin barracks. Those goblins presently at home in this barracks will respond to any sounded alarm by donning their armor and grabbing their weapons while a runner goes to report to the Bugbear squad leaders. They'll be ready to respond to the alarm in 12 rounds and will follow the direction of their leaders as the DM sees fit. Okay. I don't even think there's a description here. Just the goblins I guess maybe I can say goblins respond to alarms in 12 rounds. That seems legit. Snarler's Barracks. The room to this door has a dog skull tacked to it. This is the Snarler's Squad Barracks room. Oh, we've got different squads. Dried Ass Ear. Ear Biters. Oh, okay. So Ear Biters Barracks. Bone Crackers Barracks. I see. Yeah, they're named. Okay, that tracks. I don't gotta rewrite that. So dog's skull tacked to door. The room is locked from the inside. I'm just gonna put that in the title of the room. The Snarlers have just gotten off duty and most are sleeping without their armor. There are 12 goblins here. 12 goblins. Sleeping. I guess 10 are sleeping. So we'll try that this way. Say 10 sleeping, 2 playing cards. Oh, they're not playing cards. They're playing Mumbly Peg. Okay. Mumbledy Peg. Is that how you spell that? Mumbledy? Mumbledy? No. Okay, I didn't think so. I'm Mumbledy. Okay, interesting. With a knife and the hand of a third goblin who has fallen asleep at the table. That's messed up. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. If the party alerts this room by making too much noise, the goblins will be awake with their weapons drawn, and 4 slingers will be kneeling behind cover or behind overturned beds when the party enters. The goblins have a total of 41 copper pieces. Why would you put the... Oh my god. So 6 gold pieces, 9 silver pieces, and 41 copper pieces. Fine. Bonecrackers Barracks. Let's do this. This room is barracks for the Bonecrackers squad. It is empty at present as they are on duty. Empty. Easiest room in the dungeon. I like how it's like literally like, yeah, there's nothing. You didn't even tell you how many beds are in here. A dried ass ear. So Earbiter's Barracks. A dried ass ear with a chunk torn out of it is tacked to this door. There are shouting and curses coming from this room. The 12 goblins in this room are crowded around the center of the room, watching a 2-foot-long lizard tied to a table leg squirm in pain. For several darts protrude from its back, and 1 foot has been cut off. These horrible creatures are betting on how long it will take for the lizard to die. One goblin is teasing 2 starving rats in a cage and eyeing a slave who is bound and gagged and lying on one of the beds. Oof. There are 67 copper pieces, 17 silver pieces, and 13 gold pieces on the floor in front of the goblins. Okay. So I'm just going to say 12 goblins gambling over the fate of an injured lizard. The rest of that stuff is pretty inconsequential. Slave tie. Is the slave unconscious? I don't want to put the slave here. I'm good. I don't need it to be weird. One goblin is teasing. Yeah, I also don't see why that's useful. I think I'm just going to say how much money is on the floor. 13 GP, 17 SP, 67 CP on floor. Cool. All right, so we pretty quickly, I think, went from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 7, 8, 9, 10. So we just did 10 rooms. That was 10 rooms. Although I feel like this is kind of not a room, so we're going to do latrine as well, because it's going to be pretty quick. There are a set of 12 latrines. The place is dirty, but is periodically cleaned by a goblin detail. Cool. 12 latrines. Probably filthy. Easy. Best description so far. Okay, we've done our 10 rooms for the day. When we come back, we dive into probably the biggest set of rooms in the dungeon, 28, the slave pens. I think it's going to take me 2 goes, but we are clipping pretty well. I think I should. Geez, it even goes into a sub one. It's like, oh, 28C is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Crazy. Yeah, this thing's nuts. So we get started in the slave pens next one of these, which is going to be tomorrow, probably around the same time. I hope you'll come check it out. If you've got opinions about how I'm doing this, or you want to tell me I'm wrong, dude, sound off. Talk to me in the comments. I'm reading the comments if they show up. Otherwise, I hope you're getting anything from this. This is 28 here, so these are the 28 slave pens. So I think they should be pretty punchy. So A, B, and then C. And then there's the caves here. And then D through U. Oh, interesting. Okay, and yeah, it's just literally like little one-man. That's great. That's great. Those little one-shot things. Fantastic. These are going to knock over actually really easy, that seems like. That's fantastic. The whole dungeon should have been done like this. And then we get into the last bit. The Overseer's office, the Witch Doctor's quarters, Marquessa's chambers, Marquessa's doubles chambers. So there's 2 Marquessas apparently. The bodyguard's exercise room. It's weird. There's a Minotaur's room in 33 over here, which is cool. Marquessa's private chambers here. And then, yeah, I think, you know what's interesting is I think the party could just come out through this exit tunnel. Underground cavern opens up. Drow. Ooh, this is a trading station for the Drow. Deep inside the earth of the tunnel. Okay. Cool. That goes on to 39. This is the exit. This large cavern. Exit on the far side. Cool breeze below. Hobgoblins. Alright. Is a lake which connects to the underground river at 36. River at 36 here, I guess. Any who survive the trap there will be able to rejoin the party if they exit here. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Well, it seems like we're going to be able to get this done. I am hopeful. Thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to support Watcher DM, you can go get our adventures and stuff. We got a sale going on right now on watcherdm.com, on DriveThruRPG, on itch. Just look for Watcher DM. You're here, you'll find it. Otherwise, you can feel free to like and subscribe to this. I've got videos coming out like twice a week now. They're mostly like, I don't know, flip through reviews, and I'm trying to do some tutorial stuff with some of the random generators that I've got, because I have all these books and I want to know how to use them, so I'm exploring that with y'all. And yeah, otherwise we've got a Patreon if you want to go join there. I've got some pretty cool stuff dropping lately. There's going to be exclusives only for paid patrons, so I hope you'll come join me there for that. And yeah, thanks for watching.